So I'm now working on the case. I've just clicked the case that I wanted to edit that was on the My Labyrinths list, and it automatically comes up with the details page. Now from here, I'm going to show you the visual editor slide. So on core layout on the left hand side over here, you need to click visual editor. And what this does is it basically shows you your entire case from start to finish and the order that it runs in and the links between the different nodes. So as you can see at the top here, I've got the introduction slide, then it moves in a linear fashion through the case. Then we get to this decision slide and the student will have to choose between option 1, 2 and 3, and there are different outcomes for these options. Then these options all come back together to summarize the case, and then the case ends and it's over and the student will go back to the original home page of Open Labyrinth. So Visual Editor is quite useful because it's like having post-it notes laid out so that you can see the format of your case. So all these different boxes, they represent nodes, basically like a slide or a different topic. Then we've got the arrows between the nodes and that shows you how they're linked. So if I, for example, want to delete one of these links, I've changed my mind and I don't want it to be there anymore. For example, this one here, what I do is click on the arrow and this link manager box appears. At this point, I can decide, do I want the arrow to go in the direction it's currently going? Do I want it to actually go in the opposite direction? Do I want it to go in both directions, or do I want to delete it altogether? In this instance, I want to delete it, so I click delete, apply, and as you can see, there's no longer a link between these nodes. Now, the problem with this would be is if the student chose this option, option 3, an outcome, from here, they wouldn't be able to finish the case, but they'd also have no option to go anywhere else. It just ends. So I'm now going to make this link here a dual clicker, which means that once they get here, they're directed back. So I'm going to click the arrow again, the link manager appears, and I'm going to choose dual. And now, as you can see, the student would come from option 3 to the outcome, and then they can go back. So this one also needs to be dual. And now they will be drawn this way and then back to the decision slide. The visual editor is also a way that you can delete and also create new nodes. So for example, if I decide I don't want this case history node anymore, for some reason I don't need it, I just click on it and this tab option appears. Now I don't want node content because I'm not editing this node at the moment, I want actions. So I'm going to click actions and then choose to delete this node. It says, are you sure you want to delete it? And I say yes. And now this node has disappeared. However, as you can see now, there's a gap between these two nodes. They don't link in any way. This means the student would just be stuck on the introduction slide and wouldn't be able to go anywhere. So to now create a link, I'm going to click the top left-hand button on the introduction slide, and this little arm appears. I'm going to pick it up and drag it down and drop it on progression of case. And as you can see, there's now a little arrow going in this direction. If I decide from the introduction slide I actually want another node, I actually choose the left-hand bottom button and a new node appears. Here it is. I pick it up by hovering over the dark grey section, and that means I can lift it and I can drag it. And I can do this with all the nodes if I want it to look slightly different. I'm going to change this arrow here to a dual function so they can go back and forth. So I open up the link manager again, click dual and apply. And now the students, when they're on the introduction slide, can either go to the new node or to progression of the case. When you're on Visual Editor, even though it says auto save, it is best if you save it yourself as well. So you need to come over here to the left hand side toolbar and make sure you click save. Wait until it says update has been successful and now your case will have saved everything.